So as I walked up the hill on Parkdale Avenue into my Alston apartment for the very first time on an early September fall afternoon, I really started to question what I had just gotten myself into. Here I was in a completely new environment, my first time living in an actual apartment setting. I had lived in dorms and of course at home with my parents before, but this was a little bit different. I really was expected to care for myself now. Cooking for myself especially was going to be a challenge, and even now if you ask my roommates, it really still is. Did not make much progress on that, but I didn't know a single person in this cohort coming into it, and a million different thoughts started racing through my head. Am I going to like these people I'm living with? Am I going to get along with them? Am I going to make any friendships at all, let alone good ones? Honestly, I consider them to be fairly normal questions one might have in a situation like this, but in some ways it felt like I was starting all over again, as if I was a freshman in college. I could have just stayed at my own school, taken my regular classes, and gone through my first semester of junior year, just like any other one. And then as the first few days of this program started, I'll be honest, it did seem a little bit overwhelming. That natural self-doubt we all tend to have started to creep in, and I wondered, did I make a mistake doing this? Was it honestly all just too much for me, and the moment was just, I just wasn't ready for it. But it was in this moment that I started to think back to February of this year, as I sat in my dorm room back at Wheaton, my home institution, looking over the application for the study away program that honestly sounded pretty interesting to me. In that moment, I thought to myself, why not do something different for a change? Personally, I consider myself to be a pretty shy person at first, and I'm not afraid to admit that. But I felt like an opportunity such as this can be daunting for anyone, let alone myself. I knew something like this would be putting myself out there way more than I had been used to before, but a deeper part of me felt like this time it was necessary. I rarely took any risks, and I thought to myself, how bad could this one be? I was already familiar with the city of Boston, and the opportunity to live here seemed so enticing for me. However, I knew it would still be a lot. I had never worked an internship before, and that alone sounded daunting, let alone trying to balance classes and just being in a brand new environment for the first time. As I stand here now and reflect on my time as a semester in the City Fellow, it honestly ended up being one of the most life-changing opportunities I can ever remember undertaking. Everything from working a 9-to-5 internship, which honestly was one of the most rewarding professional experiences I've had in my life so far, as well as taking the tea every day, going to a Celtics or Bruins game here or there. The whole experience just affirmed my belief that Boston was the place I wanted to be after college. I guess I'd say the moral of the story here is, don't be afraid to take risks. I know it might sound a little bit cliche, but at the end of the day, life is short. We only live once. So don't let your self-doubt, nerves, shyness, or whatever it may be take away from living up to your full potential. Thank you.